Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, August 10th, 2009. We don't have a whole lot of swell headed our way this week. I did want to give you a swell scan update, though. I'm going to be going on vacation for a few days this week. Won't be able to update my wetsand.com report until probably Sunday night on the 16th. Wanted to give you some alternatives while I'm away, some things you can check out over on my wavecast.com site, also on Twitter. Wanted to give you a full update on what I see coming over the near term and also something that could be coming our way for the 22nd. Does look like we'll be seeing some smaller surf as the week progresses, some wind swell moving in later in the week. Not a lot in the way of wind problems, although things could change by the end of the week when the wind swell also moves in our way. So I wanted to give you a full synopsis on everything that's breaking down right now. This is what's going on right now. Starting out looking at the weather models, we can see a lot of stuff going on right now. Mostly around Southern California, we've got high pressure both to the east and west of us. Strong low pressure up in the Gulf. That's going to be pushing some troughing down later this week. I'll get to that in just a second. And a couple tropical systems. Felicia's just about off to Hawaii right now. Has weakened quite a bit. And the next one is Tropical Depression 9E. Not much of a surf maker, though, so far, looking to be out of this one. Spinning the models forward in time, we can see that not a lot changes around Southern California. That low drops a little bit farther south. A little bit of a troughing effect. Really not a whole lot of change, though, over the next few days in Southern California. Once we get, though, towards the end of the week, this is taking a look at early Friday morning, that trough would start pushing down more towards our region. And then by Friday night into Saturday, that trough would dig even farther south, high pressure located way up high in the Gulf, resulting in some tighter gradients along our coast. That would be stirring up some wind swell fetch near the end of the week, and it could also have an influence on the winds as well. In fact, here's a wind chart from my wavecast.com site. You can get these type of charts for various locations around the world and throughout Southern California at wavecast.com. We can see that near the end of the week, we'd be seeing a little bit of an increase in onshore winds. That's looking at the 14th around Friday. Not a whole lot of difference from the rest of the days during the week, but still a little bit more of an onshore effect. That'd be from that troughing that would be pushing low. But still, we're not looking at anything really too severe at this point. Although with that much of a trough, I wouldn't be surprised if by Saturday and Sunday, we could see some stronger winds. It's just the models right now may not be seeing quite as much of that effect yet, but right now it is summer. We're not expecting too much of an onshore flow, but I would expect some at least, though, to increase by the weekend. Taking a look at the wave analysis models, we can see how this is having somewhat of an effect right now over the area, but really not a whole lot happening in the northern hemisphere. Felicia's moving off. That's pretty much a dud. That's not going to do anything for us. Hawaii's going to see some effects. A little bit of wind swell off the coast, not a whole heck of a lot. Spinning the models forward in time, though, we can see not a whole lot of action happening over the next few days. That stagnant weather pattern means there's not a whole lot of wind swells forming. There's TD9E showing up a little bit down there. Not a whole lot else, though, happening over the next few days. Once we move toward the end of the week, this is looking Thursday night into Friday, a little bit of wind swell looks to be forming off the coast. That'd be from those tighter gradients that'd be pushing in as that trough digs south. Something surprising, too, from a strong low up there in the Gulf could be also causing an Aleutian system to start kicking up some fetch. So when we start looking toward the weekend, this would be around the early portions of Saturday afternoon. That Aleutian northwest would be high up in the Gulf. Not really much happening down in the tropics, but stronger wind swell along the coast. So it's quite possible we could see a good increase in wind swell probably around Friday, more so on Saturday and into Sunday. But as typical, if we get any wind swell along the coast, then of course we're looking at more of an increase in winds and onshore flow. So it'd definitely be the early morning sessions that would be the best bet this weekend if all this wind swell does hold together. Taking a look now down to the southern hemisphere, it's pretty blank. We really don't see much in the way of red, that's what we need on these models to have anything that's going to be surf worthy. Anything over red is going to be over 20-some feet. There just isn't much. There's a Tasman Sea dud. That thing isn't going to bring us anything at all. Spinning the more models forward in time, it doesn't look much better. A whole lot of brown, little bursts of red. Then when we go out about 72 hours, though, we see something breaking off Antarctica. This is looking like a fairly decent system. Models have been very consistent over the past 48 hours with this one. If we look a little bit farther out in time, here's a model out 96 hours. Looks like we'd get probably 35-plus foot seas. That's though about 5,500 some nautical miles away from us. But when we take a look a little bit farther out, even more, then of course this 108-hour model, slight trajectory toward the north, and that would be pretty good news. If that can maintain 35-plus foot seas, we'd probably see something out of this around the 22nd, maybe the 23rd. This is a long-range projection, though, so it is a little bit early to tell. And once again, this isn't traveling on the most ideal course for Southern California, but even that little northward projection coming off of Antarctica would start throwing swell our way. So taking a look at the near-term forecast, we're going to be seeing a drop in southwest swell. And this is off the automated wavecast.com charts that I have. You can see a variety of these different forecasts and charts over at wavecast.com. There's not a whole lot to be happening after the swell drops more over the next couple of days. A little bit of burst of southwest comes through and around Thursday, a little bit into Friday time frame. We also see some of that northwest wind swell increasing around the Friday, Saturday time frame. A little too early to call the wind swell, though, but everything, it looks like that's going to come together. And not a whole lot else from that Aleutian system that was mentioned on the models. That was taking quite a northward trajectory, but might keep a little bit of a northwest flow going into early next week, but not a whole lot expected out of that. Looks like our best shot at swell is going to be from this guy, that one coming off Antarctica. That looks to be probably around the 22nd, 23rd if all holds out real well. Right now, this is on a 108-hour simulation basing this off the 35-plus foot seas. We might be able to see some chest-high swell out of this if it moves a little bit more toward the north. That could get up towards head high. Way too early to call today, though. It's going to take a few more days to see how this all comes together. As mentioned, I will be on vacation for a few days, so in the near term, I wanted to make sure you can stay updated. Latest information I provide over at wetsand.com. You can always check that out at wetsand.com, Southern California. Although that report won't be updated for about a week, the swell watch charts will be updated on a regular basis. Also, I have a free site called wavecast.com, and you can always check that out. It's automated, and it does provide a variety of different reports throughout Southern California for surf, wind, weather, tide, and more, and you can check that out at wavecast.com. And lastly, too, I've started a new service over on Twitter. You can always check that out. It's updated a couple times a day. It'll give you surf tweets, which will show you the latest swell heights throughout Southern California and the estimated face heights for surf. So you can always stay updated. Once again, that's twitter.com/wavecast. So that's how things are wrapping up. So once again, just in a nutshell for this week, not a whole lot happening. A little bit of burst comes through from the southern hemisphere around Wednesday, Thursday time frame. Looks like a little bit of wind swell then will be moving in over the weekend. Wind swell could increase a little bit more, though, as the weekend progresses, but not holding my breath on that just yet. Looks like our next significant southwest swell will be around the 22nd into the 23rd, but I have to see how that develops over the next few days or so. We'll be on vacation for a little while, so until next time, be safe, smile in the lineup, take care.